It's Monday. It is Monday. I'm so excited. Why? Because today is the day that I give back to you, the viewers, to answer any questions that you may have and to touch topics related to the business side of running your business. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about how to choose the right bank for you and your business. We are going to be talking about business banking. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay, so it has been a minute since I've made a video. Have you guys missed me? Because I miss you. I had COVID. Then after I got over COVID, I had an upper respiratory infection, and I had to wait for that to clear up. And then after that, I slept on my neck wrong, and your girl had to go to urgent care because I thought I pulled a muscle in my neck. But it turns out it was actually the muscles in my neck and my back were spazzing. Is that a word? I think it is. I was having muscle spasms, and so I've been trying to heal from that. It's just crazy. But I am going to do another video sometime this week. It'll probably be a voiceover video while I'm working. You know, just letting you guys know about my whole COVID thing. Like, that was crazy. But let's get back on topic of what today's video is all about. So I had a friend, emailed me and wanted to know how should she choose which bank to deal with when it comes to banking for her business. So I'm just going to share what has helped me along my journey. There's so many different ways that you can do it. There's no right or wrong way. It's whatever works for you. So so if you don't know my history, in 2016 is when I first started my very first business. I was self-employed as a hairstylist. I had a salon suite, and I was doing hair, nails, I was just doing it all. And technically in the law's eyes, I was the sole proprietor. I did not start my LLC until 2018. The reason being is because I wanted to separate myself as a person from the business. I wanted the business to be its own entity. And what I didn't realize back then when I was self-employed was all of the money that I was making under that self-employed status, it really didn't help my business when I wanted to expand, because they wanted to see the money that the business was making. So all of that money was under me and not under the business. So that's when I decided, okay, I need to open up a business bank account for my LLC so that any money that is that's being generated, any revenue that I'm making, goes into that account. So when I get ready to expand, I can show the banks what I've made. And okay. Anyways, but so how did I choose a bank to go with? I asked a lot of my clients at the time were business owners, so I kind of asked them to see what their take was. And one of my clients, she is a sweetheart. She has literally helped me so much on my business journey, and she probably doesn't even know it, but she has really, like, I've picked her brain so much about things. But she was telling me to look at credit unions because they usually have lower fees, and you just want to make sure that they are federally insured or whatnot. So what I did is, and I encourage you to do the same thing, is to visit your local banks. Like I did, I went to Wells Fargo, I went to Bank of America, I went to BB&T. I'm not sure if they're all over I know Wells Fargo and Bank of America are all over, but I'm not sure if BB&T is all over. And then after I went there, I also went to some of the smaller, the credit unions. And what I found was, with the big banks like Bank of America and Wells Fargo and BB&T, they wanted me to have a minimum amount in that account at all times. All banks do. But their minimum amount was $1,200, and this was back in 2018, so I can only imagine what it is now. But some of them wanted $1,200, some of them wanted more than that, and some of them wanted less than that. And basically it's saying at all times this bank account has to sit at that, and I just, at that point, I wasn't bringing in enough revenue for me to say, okay, we're going to keep $1,200 in here, and then it was just not, it wasn't feasible for my business at the time. The other thing that I didn't like about those big chains were they wanted to charge me for every little thing. So if you had a deposit going to account, they wanted to charge you. You can only have X amount of deposits coming in. You could only write X amount of checks before you started getting charged for it. It was a lot of little tedious things that, if you're not paying attention, if you don't know your cash flow and how you're depositing and how your money is going, you can get caught up in paying more fees than what you're actually bringing in, and it's not feasible. They also wanted to charge me for the checks. I can't remember everything. I know I wrote it down and I was just like, this isn't working. And I ended up going to a True Lion credit union here in Charlotte. In order for me to set up a business bank account with them, I only had to have $5 in the business savings account. Checking was free. They didn't charge me for deposits and little small things. I got my check. I got, they gave me an envelope and it had, I want to say 10 checkbooks in it. And that was free. I also got a nighttime deposit bag and the key to be able to make my deposits at night. They didn't charge me for that. There's no fee for me doing those deposits at night. They gave me the money bag to use as well. That was free. What else? What else? At the time when I first signed up with them, they were not charging overdraft fees. They would let you overdraft up to $1,000, and they weren't charging overdraft fees. Since COVID has happened, they are starting to kind of crack down and charge overdraft fees, which is $35. But usually if you call them and dispute it and tell them like, hey, you know, the money wasn't there at that point, but then I had sales coming in and it covered it, they'll usually negotiate with you and you won't have to pay the fines. I had that happen to me one time, and it was crazy because the deposits from one of the websites that we sell on came in late, and a big transaction was deducted before that happened, and right after that happened we were in the negatives, and then the sales started to go into the account, so it put us back at positive, but it was all in the same day. I can understand if it was another 2 days later and the account was still in the negatives, or a whole day later, but in the same day it balanced out. So I was able to dispute that, and they gave me the money back for the $35 over fee or whatnot. The other thing that I did like about going to a credit union, because they are smaller and because you are a member, they want to see you succeed. So I had sat down with a financial advisor at one of the True Lion banks here in Charlotte, and she was basically giving me advice on how to redirect my company when I made the transition from being a salon owner to being a retail business. And so I've banked at other banks and I've never had that type of relationship with the bankers there. So that was a plus going to a credit union. What are some of the other pros about going to a credit union? The fees are definitely cheaper. You can open up multiple accounts with them and not have to have that. So when I opened up several different accounts within that same bank for my business, I didn't have to have a minimum amount for each account. It was just that one main account has to have that $5 in the savings. So that's why I chose to go with a credit union. Now, there are some cons about going with a credit union. And the first con would be, the first negative thing is, most credit unions are not all throughout every state in the United States. And so you're kind of limited to where you can get, go to the actual physical bank. So I think Truliant has some locations outside of Charlotte, but it's not a lot. And then if I go outside of Charlotte, let's say I go to Virginia and there's not one there, then I don't have a bank to use. But it's not really a big thing to me. For you, it may be a big thing. That's the only negative thing that I can see about having, going with a credit union, because it is smaller. They don't have as many branches. The other negative thing that I wish that they did do is, I know with my account with Wells Fargo, you can deposit checks into the ATM. With Truliant, you cannot deposit checks into the ATM. You would have to use either the overnight drop box, or you would have to come during banking hours to deposit checks. The other thing is, with my Wells Fargo account, we can deposit money into the ATM. At Truliant, you cannot deposit money into any of their ATMs. It ain't gonna happen. You better get there before bank hours close. That's the only downfall that I can say to dealing with a credit union. But the pros kind of outweigh the cons. It just depends on where you are with your business. Like, how much money is your business bringing in? Can you afford, if you do incur fees, can you afford those fees? Or do you have enough cash flow that you won't even have to worry about that type of things? But like I said, this is just what I did. I encourage you to call your local banks and set up an appointment for them to tell you about all the programs that they offer, what are their fees associated with it, what is the minimum amount you have to have in there. Ask as many questions as you can, and don't just take the first offer, because let me tell you, they are a beast. They will try and get you to sign up right then and there. Outweigh all of your options, because this is your business. Like, this is somewhere you're going to be doing business for a while. So definitely check into all of the banks that are near you and what you can afford. So I hope this has helped you. Oh, before I end it, the other thing about the credit unions is, I don't know if it's like that with every credit union everywhere, but for the ones that were in my area, you had to either live, work, go to school, and it was something else, within a certain mile radius to sign up with them for some of the credit unions here. And then there are some credit unions where you have to know someone to get you on and all of that. I don't have time for that. Like, I just want to put my money somewhere and make sure it's safe and be able to do what I need to do. That was the other thing that I forgot to mention, is you would probably have to show proof of that. The other thing that they asked me for when I set up my my account with them for my business, they wanted my EIN number, and they also wanted to see my articles of organization, my LLC paperwork. So I'm not sure if you have that, but definitely ask them, you know, what all do you need to bring in order to set up a bank with them. That concludes this video. I hope this answered your question, friend. If it didn't, please let me know. Send me another email if it's something more specific that you're looking for. Just let me know and we'll figure it out. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on social media. I will leave the links to my social media down in the bio of the video. Also, check out my website for new merch that's coming out. And I'll see you next time. Bye.